remember when they first tried to integrate them. They created a character named Black Vulcan. They had another character named Samurai and another character named Apache Chief. Why is it
wow,
whenever
you remember the names?
Yeah. When they came out with them,
that's great.
I was hyped, but what I remember was that all of the minority characters never had their whole suits. They either had like no pants,
that's
or
horrible.
they had like, you know
really?
Yeah, they have like
what
no
do you
pants
think?
on.
Well, we already know what that does to the minds of our youth, but it's interesting because even in watching certain
ourselves with it. Oh wow, thank you.
Thank you, honey. I'm sorry, the mailman came.
So
Continue.
we really involve ourselves with what's really going on. We put ourselves in a situation where we automatically disenfranchised. We feel disenfranchised. So I got tired of that. And so me growing up, having children, being a contributing member of society, being a writer, being someone that's conscious, I realized that. See, I'm talking to my son.
You can bring him in. It's fine.
Thank you.
Come, Amor. You can come in and show everybody you're swimming. Say peace to everybody.
Peace.
That's my son.
Say
The one
peace.
I'm talking about. Thank you, Queen.
Superhero.
And just what we talking about. We talking about
Thank
superheroes
you.
and all of that.
What's in this?
It's some great package, and this has some lotion and some other good stuff. Okay, guys, to stay focused.
So yeah, so it really boils down to it that we created a situation where we wanted to have something more for ourselves. More something for ourselves. More something where, keep it real, I think even, thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I even feel that a lot of people who aren't quote-unquote minorities or black or white or whatever, I think that they're tired of it too. I think that they're tired of seeing the black character or the Asian character or whoever the character is just dying first in the film just
most
arbitrarily.
It's true. It's not even, I don't think it's even race, race
but see,
preference anymore.
I figured it out.
What did you think about?
The reason why they do that, in my opinion, is so that way that the quote-unquote one who's supposed to be the most disenfranchised from society can't be the one to actually come and save it.
And rise up.
That was also one of the main issues with us growing up in the hood and why we didn't really get involved with too much like superhero stuff like that. Like Kung Fu stuff was more feasible to us than superhero stuff to some people growing up in the hood. Why? Because superheroes defend the status quo. And if the status quo has created a situation where it's been Willie lynching us, Rodney Kinging us, all of that, it kind of seems maladapted in the mind of black folk to be like, well, I'm gonna become a superhero and then
it's totally out
save the cop. That's why they had to create movies like Hancock and stuff like that, where he can be the most powerful superhero, or whatever.
But he had to be married to the white girl.
But also he has to be shiftless. He has to be a drunk. He has to be something that's not traditionally superhero-like in order for
there
people
to be an
who aren't
opening.
Like that opening for us to accept it. When really that's BS, man. Like, let's keep it real. Most of the superheroes they have are archetypes of African mythology characters anyway. I mean, you may not want to hear it, but that's exactly why I wrote the book. So that way somebody out there can say that, no, Anubis, Batman is really Anubis.
And the Hulk.
The Hulk is really Asar, who is Osiris. Superboy is really Heru. Spider-Man is really Anansi. Storm is really Oya.
Oh wow, she's my favorite.
Really Oya.
It's so great.
Wonder Woman is really Hecate.
Wow.
It goes on and on. You know what I'm saying? Shazam is really Tahuti. Excuse me, Flash is really Tahuti. Green Lantern is another version of Asar in his vegetation state, his Lord of Vegetation. So when we really look at the mythology, it's maladapted that everybody else in the world can have superheroes and stuff made in their own image. But when it comes to us as black people, who we got? We got Black Panther and Storm, right? We got the Falcon, who's Captain America's sidekick, right? We got Power Man, Luke Cage, who was an ex-con, right? Who's married to a white girl. We got who else? You see what I'm saying? I can't even think.
Is that the guy that just played Sam Jackson's character?
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury.
They just made him black, right? But in that, they made him black because his father, the original Nick Fury, was white. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to say that there's a racial thing going on, a subtle racial thing going on in our in the psyche of the people that are creating these comic books. Okay, because let's keep it real. Most of y'all that's making these comic books most of you guys that are creating these comic books not only don't look like anybody that's buying them, right? But at the same time, y'all are kind of like way older than the market that you're writing for. You know what I'm saying? And you can't really tell me what a character like the Black Panther is. You know what I mean? What he means to quote unquote black people.
Well, that's the same height.
If you don't realize, like, let's do the knowledge. Is it a coincidence that in 1966, when the same year that the Black Panthers came out in America, that happens to be the same year that the Black Panther character came out? Like,
wow, I didn't know that.
Exactly. Most people don't, and that's my point. My point is that we don't see the subtleties and how these things relate to us, and how when these things come out, we almost start to segregate and differentiate ourselves. So that's a black superhero. Like, you don't think that it's interesting that all of the black superheroes' name got to start with black? Black Panther, Black Falcon, Black Manta, Black Mask, the Black Racer. Like, we don't know that the dude is black already.
But it's hard unless you figure out a way to create a different portal. And then, like Hollywood or like films, everything is kind of, you know, tied up in a pretty little bow. Everybody has, you know, they know exactly what to fund. They know exactly what they want to put out. And, you know, quiet as kept, there's a small concerted group that's obviously got some, you know, commonality that they don't want anything new.
No,
like, even in watching certain new films that are out right now, it's like, damn. You know, everybody complained about what's that movie, The Hunger Games?
About the character
about the character being black, but she was a black girl in the book.
Right, but see, the thing is, white people who consider themselves white or Caucasian, they don't like to be referred to as racist.
But what do you call that when it's obvious that you're only dealing with one side? Like,
when you've grown up in a society where everything in the society has been put out to in a sense glorify your image or your archetype, you don't necessarily know what it's like not to feel a part of that.
That's true.
So they don't really see outside of their own choices.
It's like
the sidekick of the other white guy. When do we have something that makes us feel that we are powerful as well? And so in the process of that, I decided, my son wants to show me, he's jumping in. I've decided that I wanted to create something again. Awesome, Bornsey. Create something again, so that way, legacy-wise, there would be something in the world to show that, no, our people have a direct continuity with not only ancient mythology, but everybody's ancient mythology basically begins and ends with us. There's a reason why Superman, Spider-Man, Captain America's costume is red, white, and blue. You know what I'm saying? Or red and blue. There's reasons why certain characters have certain colors. You know what I mean? There's reasons why these things go down. But if I was to come out with a lecture and say that, people might not want to hear that. White people may not want to hear it. Black people may not want to hear it. But if I can put it in the form of a book, right, that's interesting, that's got images and entertaining, and has characters, like I said, that I drew myself, you understand what I'm saying, that can illustrate aspects of our story, I think everybody would want to be in touch with that. I think everybody would want to see something new that identifies themselves. And again, I'm not discriminatory, you know what I'm saying, we got everybody in it. But the point is,
that's nice as an original man to think of what it's like to not, you know, to be reading these things for so long and see what you can add on, see what you can contribute to extend it, and to also inspire other writers to think outside the box.
Also, to keep it real, it's a thing where we can create. I've been drawing since I can remember, and initially the first characters that I started drawing, which you'll see in this clip as we fly them in and out, you'll see that in a lot of initial characters I drew look nothing like me. Archetypically, in terms of phenotype, I started drawing all Caucasian characters. See what I'm saying? As a child, because that's all I'm seeing. But now as an adult, when I look back at these old drawings that I did, I start to see like, wow, there was something in me even back then that associated the idea of the superhero as being an archetypically, phenotypically Caucasian thing, even back then.
That's right, because that's all you're.
Right, because that was all I was exposed to. Because every comic that I ever saw was like that.
Wow, what that must do to the mind of a child.
Exactly. So
go ahead, I see you
73. That's somebody born in 73. Now we in 2012 now. Imagine now the same situation. This is still
it hasn't changed like that.
It has not changed. We're the black president. We're the first black mayor in New York. With all the
So
quote
please
unquote
support.
black, whatever.
Please support, because something new. It's something new. You know what I mean?
I'm talking to white. I'm talking to black folk. I'm talking to white folk. I'm talking to anybody who considers themselves a color. I'm talking to you. This thing has to stop. This disenfranchisement of our youth from specific situations has to stop. I don't want to get too caught up in the whole racial aspect of this shit, but y'all know what's going on. You've been reading comments just as long as I have, and you know the disparaging discrepancies when it comes to the
support
representation.
we got them both. For people that only think phonetically, Asir the Duke of Tears or AsirTheDukeOfTears.com. You can also check DarkSkull418.com.
You could also check us out on Super Hayward Radio
on Monday nights.
Monday nights on Blog Talk Radio from 9 to 11. You could also check out any of our older
it's all up there.
DVDs.
I just wanted to take this and introduce you guys to the Dark Skull.
Thank you to the Forbidden Planet for holding us down for first major signing and opening. Big up to Bulletproof Comics. Big up to Jay Hanley's Universe.